How's it going? Alright, so now time for part 2 of my T-Bone Walker installment. And this is pretty much the history of the electric blues guitar, because as I was saying in the first episode, installment, whatever we're calling it, T-Bone Walker is the original electric blues guitarist. They had Delta blues guitarists before T-Bone Walker, but T-Bone Walker was the one that established the electric blues vocabulary that all generations of electric bluesmen have followed ever since. So the lick that I want to focus on today, in the first part, I was talking about how he would bend strings and then he would fall on the adjacent string after he did a bend like this. And this is a similar concept in the sense that he is going to land on an adjacent string after he's bending, but he made a triplet out of it. And this bend would start on the 6th fret of the E string, and then he will fall on the 3rd fret of the B string, and it's a triplet. So the lick would go like this. And sometimes he would even do a whole block chord, like a kind of like a diminished chord right here. But that whole concept of bends and then anchoring the hand and bending and falling on adjacent strings, that's kind of one of his calling cards. That's another one where he'll bend the 11th string, or sorry, the 11th fret of the B string, while he has his first finger on the 10th fret of the E string. And you'll also notice these chords that I play. That's actually my favorite chord ever. That might be one of the reasons why I'm into T-Bone Walker's music. One of the many reasons why I'm into T-Bone Walker's music is I love the sound of 9th chords. They just sound dreamy and just awesome to me. When you would put the pinky into those, he's extending the chord. I think those are 13ths. I'd have to brush up on the intervals in the chord to tell you. But he would slide chords and verses on the verse sections after he sang a line. He'd electric blues guitarists have appropriated those moves on the slow blues numbers that they do. When he would go to the 5 chord, he would slide with it. that swing feel that he would play with too. That's where it's like. That swing phrasing comes from the way that the electric guitar evolved as a solo instrument in bands from horns. It used to be that horns were the predominant solo instruments. They would play single note lines, and then guitar, when the amplifier came into play, started playing a lot of those loud single note lines. So the early pedagogy of electric guitar is heavily influenced by horn lines and has kind of a swing feel to it. And then this era, which is pretty much 1940 to let's say 1955, that T-Bone Walker was pretty much at his peak, is the moment in time when blues and jazz were at their closest relation that they ever were. They've kind of drifted apart ever since, especially since rock and blues rock and all the splintering subgenres from blues. But at this time, you had the more sophisticated chords, as you've seen. Just a really awesome time for blues. And when B.B. King started his career in the early 50s, he started out in essence like a T-Bone Walker clone, but as he went on he developed his own completely, totally unique style, which I'll cover him later on, but that is the essence of the electric blues style, especially in the formative years, was these T-Bone Walker moves. So yeah, that's about it. Go listen to some T-Bone Walker.